some of us outplay players like this, where we take an SMG and shove it right in there, you know what. Not only one time, but yet again another time. And then we got players just like this riding a board trying to piece control people. When I saw this, I had nothing but respect for this build fight, so I didn't shoot at it. Yo, it's your man Ken. For this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I outplay players in Champions League. These are some of my best arena fights and a high kill arena win. All in one video. I'm going to talk to you about the tips and tricks that I use. Then I'm going to talk about the thought process, some mentality tips. Don't forget, use code KenBeans. It helps creators out so much. And let's hop into this video. In all my fights, one of the moves I'm always using without even thinking twice about it now. You can see I start from the low ground. I know that they're in that box right above me, so I side jump the high wall first. Then I look down, place a stair, and if I edit, I can full piece them and get a mean clip this way. This strat is super useful. I tried to do it twice. It was a little mess up. You never want to let players have the satisfaction of hitting you with heavy shots in arena. One of the ways I outplay people is always playing angles super tight. You're going to see how I explain this in a future example. I will say though that most of the time when you make window edits, you'll notice how I'm not moving to try and get a better angle. I have confidence that they're going to panic and move in the direction that I want them to, so I just sit there and let them do everything. So even on this next guy in arena, if you want to outplay people, don't be afraid to use your mats a lot. This guy on height right here, he can go out in certain ways. Most of the time what people are going to do is go out right or left. So I don't create the full boxes or anything, but all I do is just quickly place the double edits on right and left side. I started to full commit to one side and then realized that they were going out the other way. This is a really smooth example of a clip that just kind of worked out because I just spent a little extra mats and wasn't afraid to use my mats to try and get a kill. So as you're going to see here, I was weak in this fight initially, but I ended up running away and healing up. How I go to outplay this person, this is also another move I use a ton. You'll notice one thing I'm doing when I want to set up plays and try and go for plays, it's always starting off with me either being the aggressor on height or me in a box on low ground with tons of space to maneuver and move around it. I don't like to trap myself in just one box whenever I'm trying to outplay someone because it makes things super awkward. So if you notice, when this guy's trying to spray against my wall, I'm playing deep back in the box. Anytime you make a really wide open edit like this, if they're sitting right there in front of you, they're gonna start spraying even though they can't see me behind this cone unless they jump. You can see how this guy's reaction was to just start shooting randomly even though he didn't see me, and that's why he didn't hit a single shot. I would say almost against 90% of players that move works so much, and if you haven't gone out of your way to at least give it a shot, I would definitely recommend to do it. By now in arena, especially in Champs Division, this is by far the easiest way to set up a wall retake so that you can get easy piece control. You'll notice all I do is I have height, so I'm running right in front of this guy's box. I'm always expecting people to double edit, so you just set up a window edit. Make sure you're standing on a cone. It makes it a lot easier to do the wall replacing. Keep in mind I was smacking my pickaxe on the cone because the cone's a lot easier to hit compared to the floor. So by the time I got to the floor, all I did was spray it and try to wall replace it behind the window edit. I thought I had another gun in my inventory, so I choked a little bit. That's on me. But that initial play will help you outplay so many people in arena. So here's another move I do. This is really subtle, so pay attention. When someone's ramping up directly in front of me, you're going to notice how I go over one box to the left so I can kind of attack them at an angle. I almost never ramp up right behind someone. All you need to place is cones and walls. Keep in mind, this is one of the most optimal ways to box someone in this position. So I create the full box. I see them stuck on my cone. So I waited for them to run down just a little bit because I know that chances are they're probably more than likely going to go backwards. That's what always happens. Then I make the edit and notice how I place the walls to block them fully in my box now. Then what I did was edit a different wall to try and take them off guard. And then after that, they're just full toast at that point. This exact scenario where you cone wall, they're going to run back and then you can full piece them. That is such an easy way to wrap up a kill really fast. Here's another quick example where I opened up all 6 tiles on this guy. I sit back deep in the cone and he only hits me 40 damage when I have a clear line of sight on. This move works really well against people who are just blindly trying to get into your face because they can't see you and you're crouch peeking behind the cone. Here's another quick tip for arena when you got a player who's running away like crazy. You could see how I'm keeping up the pressure really well, but notice how I'm piece controlling not where they are, but the box that they're going to. If you do this fast, you might even be able to claim piece control in the box that they're in already, but this is just super good practice to always make sure that you kind of piece control outside of the direction that they're going into. If you want to outplay people, this is arguably one of my favorite ways to set up me taking someone's wall. All outplaying means in Fortnite or in any game in general, your main goal is reading what the player is doing and you're reacting and countering it. I always play super patient whenever I'm fighting people because I kind of let them do all the work and mess up, and then I'll just capitalize on it. So once I set up the double edit, I get all this piece control. I'm sitting there with my shotgun out, and once I see that they're not caring that I'm on their wall like this, I instantly look over to piece control the spot where I think they're gonna go into, kind of pre-placing the walls and counter piece control so that I can easily get in this guy's face and end the fight really fast. Every single time you're gonna outplay anyone on Fortnite, you need to just get good at trying to end the fight as fast as possible. Most of the time, taking that risk and 50-50 is gonna teach you the correct ways in when you can do it and when you can't. So if you constantly try and keep the pressure up in ways that I'm showing you like right now, it will definitely help you get better in the long run. For me, here's another way that I'm keeping the pressure up really well. Notice how I did the window edit and we don't have any walls to the left. So instead of trying to go for a shot, I know that I have a left-hand peek, so I cannot take this 50-50. I end up getting the crack, but the move that I want to mention, see how they initially start going up? So what I do is high wall all 3 boxes. So 1, 2, and then 3. Chances are if they stay in this box, I full piece them and try and go for a shot. If they drop, I can flip the stair and then piece control the bottom. This guy fell all the way through, so I ended up wrapping the fight down below a little bit over here. But I'm telling you right now, even the best of the best pros use this exact move where they just high wall drag over walls like this and they get crazy amounts of piece control opportunity. If you notice, as this guy is build fighting me and he's kind of ramping up to me, I'm always playing at a diagonal or an angle to him. I'm almost never directly right behind them as they're doing high ground retakes. This is one of my favorite moves. It outplays every single person in arena usually. It always starts out in a situation just like this. They're build fighting for height. Every single player is going to try and do a side jump to get above you whenever you're right below them. So me knowing that, I thought that they would go out the right, so I randomly tried to piece control the right side. Then I heard them last second go to the left. What I did was instead of go for a double edit, I go for a mongrel classic on this side. Then you make sure you're outside the box, you shoot them, and then you place walls right in front of you, and now you essentially just did the best mongrel classic of your life. I'm going to show on screen right now in the last video I made. I did this move not only once to someone and hit them for like 130 damage, but I set myself up for a really good right hand peek, and I did it a second time as well. That move is 100% one of the best moves in the game right now. So let's say hypothetically that if you go for the mongrel classic, you can see I didn't get the wall right here. Then the next move you do is keep your momentum going to the left, and then you throw stairs above their box. But this entire time, like I said in the earlier tip, if I do run into one of their edits, I'm moving really quickly and not just standing in front of it. I'm also playing angles super tight to make sure that they can't hit heavy damage shots on me. Really going out of your way and focusing on this area in arena where players can't really hit you max. That's going to bring down their confidence a ton because at no point in the game are they going to have a massive health advantage. But even yet, here's another example of the same move, but this time it actually worked, where you high wall over and to the left. Notice how I got all 3 walls and I ended up getting full piece control on this player, making them really panic. I will say, if you want to start getting the advantage and outplaying people, having more confidence in arena, I got 5 things written down that I use to help outplay people. Starting out is something that might put your mind at ease a little bit, but plain and simple how it goes on Fortnite. When it comes to really trying to get better at things just like this, yeah, you need to remember the tips and tricks and all and be in that situation, but you got to understand players like me and players way better than me. I have over 7,000 hours on the game, and there are pros out there with around 10,000 hours played. So if you ever wondered how people make it seem so easy and simple to try and do so well in arena or even in comp matches, whatever you might fancy, having so much hours on the game, granted not all of it's probably spent playing the game. I left the game open tons of times, but I can surely say that most of that time spent is me trying to play or in some fashion get better at the game. If you go into the Epic launcher, you go to your game library, you can click the 3 dots and it shows you how much time you have played on the game. If you got time, leave it down below in the comments. I'm kind of curious to see how many days you guys got, but that's one of the main ones for sure. Just being in the same position over and over, having over 7,000 hours on the game, just knowing that it didn't come overnight. Going off that, number 2 is having a strong mental. My mentality on Fortnite has really evolved a lot, and I would say in the start of chapter 3 at least that I've gotten really confident when fighting people no matter who they are. Even recognizing pros that come in my arena games, I don't lose confidence at all. I stay strong mentally, because the second you lose that, or the second you might think that you can't do it, it's pretty much over for you. Number 3, going about how to outplay people, it's really just about trying to do things that people do to me. I'm sure that dying in this game really frustrates a lot of people, but it's the deaths that happen to me that I realize that I can use these on other players. Even now when I verse players in the game, I kind of remember how I died to see maybe I can do this against someone else to get an easy kill. Remembering that all the time is going to help you try and do the same thing when you see it done. Number 4, if you really want to start outplaying people, sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit. But at the end of the day, I'm mostly trying to remember that I'm trying to play for the win, and I'm practicing playing my life in these fights. So if you guys don't know what that means, playing your life in a fight, you'll notice this when 2 sweaty pros fight like really clear. When two pros are really going at it, there's definitely going to be one of them that have some crazy outplay to get the kill. But for the most part, they're going to be playing angles so much and they're going to be cracking each other left and right. So when you play your life in fights, it's really just about using all your mats, not letting that other person get a refresh like crazy. You want to abuse your mats and you want to abuse your heals and let the enemy have nothing when you die. Sometimes the biggest outplay, if you know you're going down, just grief the crap out of them. I'm sure we all definitely do that. This is a big one. This is the last one I'm going to mention, but this is what I do when I'm in fight. I look at the players like as they're rolling up to me, as they're build fighting me, maybe as they're just building in general, how they box up. I try to judge them kind of quickly and I gain confidence off of how they build and how they react to things that I do. So for example, if they like leave angles open a lot, or let's say they make slow edits, or maybe they sit in a box like crazy, these are like go-to signs that players on Fortnite know that, okay, this player might not be the best. He's playing scared, doesn't exactly know how to fight someone correctly yet. So this gives people a lot more confidence when you're going to make a play on someone that you know is doing one of those bad things. It definitely boosts your aim up a little bit, I'd say, because you have way more confidence trying to attack a player who's not that good. I hope you enjoyed the real tips and tricks that I use with the mentality tips. Do all that good stuff. Drop a like on the video. Come check out the streams link down below if you're interested in seeing me play live. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces. Peace.